Dax figure where he's got the American flag on his singlet top from SummerSlam
Yes.
'03. So those were a couple of the things that I got this year that weren't new necessarily, but they were vintage, and I felt like those needed to be represented behind me there.
All right. What about you, Steven? Yeah, we know that you're trying to be as complete as possible with your Undertaker collection, and I was lucky enough to get to see it in person
Yes.
for a few minutes earlier this year, and it did blow me away. So tell me some new fun stuff that you've added this year.
Oh, well, when you have no self-control, it's very easy to add stuff. One of my favorite things, Randy pointed off earlier, is the throw blankets behind me,
Yeah.
American Badass, and 1998 vintage throw blanket of the Undertaker.
Oh man,
With the
still with
cardboard.
the cardboard on it.
Still with the cardboard, as you know me, come on.
Yeah.
And in that same group, I got the Undertaker #1 comic book signed. I mean,
Right?
you can't get much better than that, especially since I have the somewhere around here. I don't know where I put it. Oh yeah, down there. I have all the other comic books. So,
Oh, nice. How many issues were there?
um, putting me on the spot here. I think it was 14.
Okay, okay. Wow, that's more than I thought, actually.
Yeah. So that was fun to add to the collection. I didn't even know they were gonna offer something as interesting as a signed Undertaker comic book.
Yeah.
So, you know,
That sale was, I mean, we were all talking about how that sale was ludicrous. You had about 2 seconds to think about if you wanted it or not. Otherwise,
I
somebody
know.
it was a claim
I was like,
sale.
$100 is cheaper than what he charges now to sign something, so why not?
Exactly.
And I sat at the batter's box and I hemmed and hawed just a bit too long. And then Steven was like, got it. And I'm like, okay, never mind.
You picked up great VHS tapes though,
He
We
so
did.
did. And that was the other thing. Like we didn't know there wasn't a. We're talking about this Facebook group that we're in that it's called Promo Photo Mania. Maybe I shouldn't even say it because I don't want to lead more people to it.
Right.
But anyway, we basically paid this guy's rent for the past couple months with the amount of stuff that us marks purchased. But he's got some connections with some old WWF employees, and we've gotten some of this rare stuff. But there was a big claim sale on there from the guy who used to be a photographer for the WWF, and there wasn't like an inventory of what was going to be on there either. So it was like, man, should I save my money in case there's something big coming later,
Right.
or do I just go ahead and pounce on
and
something?
we
So
all wanted that Pog board.
he
Right.
he
And he
had
ends up keeping it.
yeah, he had like from the WWF Pogs collection, an Undertaker Pogs mat. Looks like a mouse pad, but it was a slammer mat for your Pogs, which I have. I have a set of WWF Pogs from when I was a kid, and I have like a gold, just has the WWF logo on there, but I've never seen that Undertaker one. Um, I have seen there's like you probably have this, Steven. It's like a casket with Pogs in it just for the Undertaker.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that mat was pretty cool. He had a picture of it on there, and yeah, he ends up not even selling it, adding it to his personal collection.
Yeah, that was on the you kind of did a panorama of everything. Totes, there's just stuff scattered everywhere. And the one thing that we all made out was this pog mat. And we're like, oh man, I don't care which one of us gets it, but somebody claim it. We'll figure it out later. We'll draw straws, whatever.
Mm.
And then it never even, I mean, I spent my weekend refreshing that page.
Yes, me too.
Me too.
Hours, hours. The sale kept getting extended. 4 p.m.,
Right.
5 p.m., 6 p.m. I'm sitting there with my
Right.
family. Ah, it was terrible. But I got the Survivor Series 90 program from that sale. Nice copy of that, which I had my eye on for a while to add to the Undertaker debut collection. So that was pretty cool to thumb through that and get to see what life was like in the moments pre-Undertaker, final moments of the World Wrestling Federation. But yeah, pretty cool. Like I said, incredible stuff you guys have in your collections. A lot of rare, unique pieces in there. But we all spent a lot more money, even more money this year on new Undertaker items. So we've got the full list. I think we've got everything. I don't think we missed anything here. And we'll go through them one by one, talk about what we did like, what we didn't like, and maybe what we didn't purchase, and what we're hoping for in 2025 here. So
Before we go through the list, Steven, should we turn our
Yes.
gimmicks on here?
Oh, we got to.
Oh, mine doesn't work anymore.
Oh no.
Did the battery die?
Battery died.
Oh my God. I think you
I
can replace
tried it. I tried it earlier. It doesn't work anymore.
You should be able to replace it. Yeah.
you can't put it in the washing machine, Steven.
I didn't believe
In
it. Yeah.
case you're just listening to this, Randy's got his what Randy and Steven have their Undertaker. I don't want to call them ugly sweaters. They're quite beautiful.
Right.
But Randy's lights up. Steven sadly is not.
Yeah, I know. Yes.
But I've got my Kane long sleeve tee. I didn't have my I don't have an Undertaker sweater, surprisingly. This is the best I could do. But
We still accept you, Alex.
I appreciate it. And hopefully if you're watching on YouTube, you're gonna see some of this stuff. You guys seeing it?
I do see it.
Yes.
Excellent. Okay, so kicking things off, let's start with this fun one. The Undertaker Big Shots. It is another new iteration. They've been trying to remake these wrestling buddies for 30 years, it seems like, and it has never quite lived up to the expectations of the original Tonka wrestling buddies that we had as kids. But I think I do not have one of these in hand yet, but just looking at it, it looks like a pretty great representation of it. These are made on demand, and they're adding in like a ton of new characters. So it's not just like 3 or 4 people, but they've already added a ton of new looks over on the Fanatics and WWE shop. Randy, I know you've got one. Steven, did you get one of these yet?
No, not yet.
All right. Well, Randy, you'll have to give us the in-person review. And clearly they make different sizes of them too, which
I
is
know.
a nice touch.
Yeah, and I
always-
had to order all 3 sizes, so that's
Oh.
quite a delay.
Of course.
I'm insane.
This is always this is suggestive, but I always thought 7 inches was bigger than this, but this is all you this is all you get. Because I did not get out a ruler. I just thought like I don't need I've already
Oh my God.
I've got the one that's sitting next to Steven right now from SummerSlam Detroit. I got the purple version that they came out with the following year. Like, do I need a third one that size? And plus, they are kind of expensive. I mean, they are, I forget if it was 70 or 80 bucks for the big one, the 22-inch one. So I thought I'll just get the smaller 7-incher. That'll be so cool and kind of different. And he is very cool. The little one does come with like I don't know, a hook coming out of his head in case you want to like attach him to your, I guess, your book bag or something. I don't know.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah, I like that.
There's no I know we talked about on the ones the WWE had, there was like this almost like an Oreo cookie, like there was a black stripe down the center last time, and that they don't have that this time. And this guy is soft and he is like really full. I mean, I don't think they could put any more stuffing in him. So
it's a thick 7 inches, even if it's not
right,
a long 7
the
inches.
girth is there, right?
Some girth.
But yeah, I do like him. I think the Major Wrestling Figure podcast, they were talking about how like the big shots are like hardcore quality. I mean, like this is amazing, and it is soft and it is full, so pretty good. I kind of wish I would order the big one, although they are expensive, so you got to pay for it. I got my son a Jey Uso for Christmas. That's my dad gift to him.
Nice.
My order had that and him, and this was well over 125 bucks for both of them, but they're worth it.
So yeah, I mean, I think so. Use the 7 inches, 24 inches. Is there 12 inches in the middle?
I think there's 7 and 7, 16, 22.
16.
And
Okay.
22 is like
Yeah.
your Tonka, like the classic size, you know?
Yeah,
That's
I wouldn't mind getting like the middle size.
Yeah, I'd go for I would recommend at least 16, because when I pulled this out of the thing, I was like, you gotta be kidding me, buddy. He's cute. He's cute.
It is cute.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get to see some different looks. I wouldn't be surprised to see, the classic gray gloves or modern day Taker or biker Taker in there. There definitely is a lot more meat on the bone for those. And I like this, got the tattoos on there as well.
Mhm.
Era appropriate tattoos, seemingly. All right, let's see what else we got here. There we go. So moving on from bobbleheads to Funko Pops. Before we get into the real meat and potatoes, Randy's got it ready for us here. The Target exclusive Undertaker Funko Pop doing like a Danhausen curse or something. I've never seen Undertaker do this move.
Shinsuke, yeah,
Or
Nakamura.
yeah, maybe a Shinsuke. Um, I'm not a Funko completist. I do have a few, and I did just kind of pick this one up on a whim, following Steven's no taker left behind rule. Just walking through the fig aisle, and I saw this one. It was on sale, I think. So I think it was only like 9.99. It's like, how do you pass that up?
Right? I felt the same way. I blame this one on you guys because I think I was on the road at a courthouse up north, and I was on lunch, and I just like I'm somewhere new. Let me check out their Target or their Walmart. Let's see what's going on. And I went in their Target, and there he was. And I think I took a picture and sent it to you guys. I think Steven was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you found one." Like Steven hadn't found it yet. I'm like, if Steven hasn't found it, then I probably should get this, even though I also do not do Funkos. Not I have a couple, but it's not my thing usually. And but him, just the combination of finding it, Steven saying he didn't have it yet. I'm like, oh man. And then I remembered that my boss had given me 8 months prior, had given me for Christmas my $25 at Target that she gives all of us on at Christmas, still sitting in my wallet. And I'm like,
Oh
this
man.
Oh,
this,
it's free then.
this could be free. So here he is. Here he is. And he usually sit next to in my workspace. He sits next to the clock. So he's sure to let me know what time it is.
Well, Steven, I'm sure you found one by now.
Oh, yes, I have. No need to worry about me anymore. I have found.
Well, how would you? I'm sure you've got all the other ones. How do you rank this
Yes.
one amongst all his other Funko Pops?
Um, it's definitely interesting. Like we said right in the beginning, it's not a pose I think of the Undertaker with, but I like him definitely without the hat and the cloak. So it's
Yeah.
different.
Yeah. And the hair in his eyes. That's cool.
Yeah.
I like it
So
as well.
definitely, yeah, definitely reminiscent of old school purple Undertaker. So I like it.
Yeah, I agree. The different, giving it a different look with the hair and the eyes definitely sets it apart. And I like Funkos. Even though I don't collect them all, I do like them a lot. And I just don't want to go down the rabbit hole
Oh
of
my
going
gosh.
through all of them, but they're fun.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, we had a Hall of Fame Undertaker Funko Pop, a Fanatics exclusive. I did not get this one. Any Steven, you got this one?
Yes.
All right. And it's got like a little mini Hall of Fame plaque
Yeah.
in
It's got a
there.
little. Yeah, it's got a little miniature plaque of. I think it's like it's not exactly of this Funko Pop. It looks like the purple Undertaker era
Hmm.
of the of in the little plaque type thing, but it's
Yeah.
cute. I like this one too. I like how he's posed like raising the lights.
Mm.
Ah, yeah. Yeah. So definitely looks like more like a modern day or like, late era
Yeah.
Undertaker in there. And then the eyes rolled back in the head. Um, Randy, this was a no-go for you, I assume.
Right. I never got this one, although I do think it's cute with the Han Solo and carbonite that you get
Right.
with it in the front. But yeah, I never got that one, although I probably should because I bought so much Hall of Fame merch when he did go in the Hall of Fame. That's probably something I should look at and getting. And I kind of didn't notice that he was turning the lights on with his arms. I didn't notice that until now. So maybe I should go
Yeah.
back and get that. We'll see. We'll see if I'm thinking about that when I'm in bed tonight, my phone.
So starting off our actual action figures here, let's start with a fun one. We got our third Undertaker Ultimate Edition figure. This one, Randy's got it there, sort of representing 2009-ish, 2008-ish, 2009-ish, with the red and white sort of demon there on the pants, the World Heavyweight Championship. And the Randy's got it posed in the Shakespeare pose, but it
Mhm.
also comes with a great nice entrance cloak and hat on there. We previously had like the 1998 WrestleMania 14 Undertaker Ultimate, and then of course the debut Undertaker Ultimate. Steven, I know this is one you had been yeah, you always say this is the era you kind of want more Undertakers from. So how excited were you for this Ultimate
I
Edition?
love it. I love this figure. From everything from I like the two new head scans they gave him, the title, the cloak, everything about this figure is a home run, and I love it so much. So I have nothing bad to say about it. It's one of the best Undertaker figures Mattel has produced.
Yeah. Randy, I know you love the posability of it as well.
Yeah, I was famous in our group chat for saying that the Undertaker never had the ruby red big gold belt with the ruby red stones in it. And since then had about 30 pictures and about two or three different action figures that have it. So this proves me wrong once and forever. I don't remember this at all, but yeah, there it is right there. And I do like the coat and all the heads that it came with. I just have so many back here, and I thought, what can I do with this guy to make it different? And I realized I didn't have a Shakespeare pose.
There you go.
I didn't have a Shakespeare pose going on in my detail. So I said, let me do that. And then I took some invisible string, and that's how he's got the title just kind of hanging off of his palm there.
Well,
Is
look
with
at
the
you.
green. Yeah.
Look at you. Look at that.
It's the same. I'd have a whole roll of it from I used it for Survivor Series 96 Taker to hang off the ceiling, and I got a whole roll of the stuff. So I'm trying to use it wherever I can. So
You'll find ways to do it.
right, yeah.
Yeah, I think I followed your lead. I'm trying to look over there. I think I posed it similarly to that. And yeah, I think this one I definitely like it more than the first Ultimate Undertaker, which disappointed me just really with the head choices on that one. And I feel like the alternate heads work better with this one. And I feel like this is what I want an Ultimate Edition figure to be, like sort of a definitive representation of a guy. And
Right.
a lot of Mattel Ultimates have been, awesome figures, but maybe they represent just like a one-off look, or just a look maybe you don't necessarily want to have at the front of your display. But this one, I mean, for this era of Undertaker, this is a great representation of him. It's like
Yeah.
the only one you really need for that era. You can do the different looks, you can do the entrance, you can do the post-match celebration. I do feel like they knocked it out of the park. Yeah, I'm a big fan of it.
And that
Yeah.
Shakespeare pose works. There's a lot of other figures I've tried that with, and then he falls over, or he's very, very like precarious. Like I can't breathe near him, or he'll fall over. But this one actually, like he hangs on pretty good.
He does. He does.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ultimate, they did re-release the original Undertaker Ultimate here that we were talking about, and just basically just to upset Steven because he's got to buy this
Yeah.
because it comes in a separate packaging.
Different box. Yeah.
So
I was like, I was hoping there was nothing different. And I was like, I can glance right over it. On the freaking back, it says greatest hits. And I was like, shit,
Oh.
yep, you're screwed.
I'm screwed.
I don't know why, but I just wasn't smart. When this is the one where they had announced that they were gonna put Bray Wyatt on the sideline for a little while, give that a chance to breathe before we put him out. And in his stead, we're gonna throw the Undertaker out there. And I was like, oh my gosh, they're gonna come out with a new Undertaker. And conventional wisdom would tell you they can't pump out a toy, a new one, in 3 seconds. But I immediately went to ringside and ordered it. And I was like, cool, I can't wait. And then like it was like a week later, I was like, Randy, this is this is going to be the same one from before. It's not going to be a new one. It would take them like a year to get something new going. So I had to cancel with ringside, and this is just the one from before because it's the same stuff. And I ripped my box open. So
In your defense, ringside did use a Ministry Undertaker photo.
right,
So
right, that's true.
And we do get pretty sure they share one of the heads here. So the tongue out head is the same, which is what bothered me on the original one, because that, to me, that's
he didn't
pretty
do it.
Yeah, that's pretty clearly a 2009-ish head here on what's supposed to be a 98 figure.
Right.
And
Yeah.
so is the other head. Looks like more like an old man Taker. I love the head that's on the figure, and the cloak is amazing.
Yes.
So just with that, it's awesome. But it just bummed me out that the alternate heads were not as good on that one back when it came out. But beggars can't be choosers. Some more re-releases here before we get into the newer stuff. And this was part of the From the Vault collection from Ringside Collectibles, The Undertaker as Kane, and then The Undertaker from his Survivor Series 96 entrance. Randy's got the original with the excellent packaging on there.
There you
and
go.
then Steven's got the newer ones to display. Now, I have to admit, I actually purchased both of these as well because I never had these two originals. And the 90 Survivor Series 96 one was a really old Mattel release long before I'd gotten back into collecting, so I never had that one. And then the Undertaker as Kane, it did come out, I guess 2019-ish, 18 or
Mhm.
19. But it and I had kind of just started getting back into collecting. So for whatever reason, I had never picked up that original one. And I think I ordered your extras, Steven. I think for both of these, since you usually buy a couple to make sure you get the
That's
better
what I
packaging.
that's what I come in handy for.
Exactly. I love my Steven box that I get, every quarter. Randy, did you have both of these originals?
Yeah, I am 0 for 2 on these, which stinks. Because usually when they're gonna do a re-release like that, you're like, all right, you know, um, I get to buy something that I didn't have before, and I don't have to pay $100+ for it. It's gonna be awesome. And 0 for 2 so far because I obviously bought this back in 2018, 2019 when it came out. And this is one of the few things I've kept in the package because some things just call for the
It's pretty
box to
cool.
stay, right? Like that's awesome. So I kept him in the box, and then the that '96 Survivor Series one I had just bought the original and put him back here. He's on suction cups, like hanging from the rafters, like he's coming down, doing his Jesse and the Rippers entrance. But I had just I just did that probably the summer before. So what, about 3, 4 months before they came out with this? And I'm
Yeah, I
like,
remember that.
out of all the
Remember that?
Undertakers, out of all the Undertakers, they came and I paid probably I think $68 for mine. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't 30 either, like, oh man, if I would have just waited a little while. What are you gonna do?
Uh,
Hoping for the next one will be
right.
something you don't have.
And I'm a fan of them doing this, so I can get these at a slightly cheaper price than eBay. Steven, what about you? What are your thoughts on them re-releasing these figures, especially kind of the Taker's Kane? It feels like pretty soon to do a re-release of that one.
I mean, the 96 Survivor Series especially, I like that they upgraded him with the true effects because the original didn't have that. So I felt like this was a necessary upgrade, even though it probably upset collectors who collect value. But I thought it was a necessary one. The Kane is Undertaker. I think they did it just because it was a ringside exclusive, and this
Yeah,
becomes a ringside exclusive, so it was easy just to move that over. But I'm partial to Undertaker as Kane. That was one of my first memories as of the Undertaker of him dressing up as Kane. Right after him crucifying Austin, middle of '99, terrorizing McMahon and the corporation as Kane. I have a soft spot in my heart for stuff like this. So anytime when they re-release something that has a core memory to me, I love it.
Hey, didn't I have to Google this, but didn't he dress up as Kane twice? There,
He
so
did.
there you go. Two figures for two times. There you
There
go.
you go. Summer of '98 and summer of '99.
There you go.
I do wish they would have fixed it to where um, the mask still has Kane's hair on it. The mask that comes with the figure still has the
Sure.
Kane hair on it, which in real life in '98 he just had a mask and he just had his Undertaker hair coming out of there. He didn't have the wig attached to the mask.
Right.
So that's the only thing I don't like about the figure, but it's a pretty great figure, very unique, well made, and the Survivor Series '96 one is a great look for him as well. We got the main event series Undertaker here, the Champions series. Um, I technically, I guess it's representing WrestleMania 13, although it's not accurate with the
Sure.
tattoos on there. Randy's showing it off here. I don't think I've actually even ever come across this one in the stores. I know I've seen it, a lot of people saying it showed up at Ollie's recently, but I haven't actually ever even come across this. What do you think of that one?
This came in a Steven box, so I didn't have to go to Ollie's, thank God. Steven sent it to me, and I immediately I was like, I want to try the main event series because it's basically those are basics, the basics on steroids, and I wanted to see what they were like, and then also this one, like you said, they were shooting for WrestleMania 13, even though it's not completely accurate, but I love WrestleMania 13. He finally won the title for real, not 6 days. And I was back into wrestling by then, so I got to kind of watch him in real time win this belt, and then see it on TV. Like I didn't those 6 days in '91, I didn't see any of that. So to be 17, 16 at the time, and get to watch that and see pictures and see it on the TV. And then he had it for quite a few months. Like I love that memory. So I was all about this figure, even though he's a basic. And then the winged eagle helps. It was a nice little throw in for a
Yeah, for
basic.
sure.
And use more of that invisible string because if you watch after he beats Sid, he hits the Shakespeare pose, and then he's holding the belt up, and it's just kind of like floppy over his hand there, and he's holding it up,
Wow.
and he he points to somebody in like the first row, and he's like, "This one's for you." I don't know if he's talking to his wife. I don't know who's out there. Maybe me. I don't know. Um, but he says that, and that's the first thing I thought of, and I'm like, how do I get this toy belt to be, floppy and just kind of flop over his hand? So I tied it down with some invisible string, so it looks like that.
Yeah, you nailed it. I love it. Great way to
Yeah,
make use of that. Steven, what'd you think of this one? Meh. Yeah, just
Meh, meh. It's at Kohl's if you have a Kohl's near you.
yeah, I do. Yeah, I could go find
You
it
know,
there. I just thought it wasn't enough meat on the bone there for me as a non-completist. I do have to hold myself back from getting everything, and I think it's fine. And it is cool to represent that moment. Randy, I think you should put him right next to the Legends Undertaker that came out last year with his promo the night after WrestleMania in
absolutely.
the funky hat and every and the robe. You know what I'm talking about?
almost
Promo
lost him.
shot Undertaker,
Yeah, the glamour shot Undertaker where he
glamour
looks
shot
like the
Undertaker.
cowgirl.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Oh, we go. I think we talked about this one last year, but I guess it had not quite come out yet. But Elite Series 107 from Raw 30th anniversary. Undertaker in his One Dead Man Show T-shirt, riding out to. Um, this was when he um, was with Bray Wyatt.
right. This is from Raw Porn,
LA
right?
Knights.
Raw,
Yeah, Raw
Raw.
Triple
Popcorn,
X.
triple extra.
This I thought this was just perfect, man. I love
Yes.
that they made it. I love it's old man street clothes taker. They turned it around super fast to get it out. I think it was technically like on Ringside Collectibles in less than a year from like when the actual moment took
Sure.
place. And it's got the merch from shirt from the Dead Man Show. And Randy, you've got another incredible display piece for it.
Yeah, so as soon as I saw this, I know it's the Raw 30, representation and that great moment with Bray Wyatt. I totally get it. But for me, when I saw that shirt, I was like, this is One Dead Man Show Undertaker. And I just met the Undertaker after 30 some odd years of being a fan. I just met him in Kansas City at One Dead Man Show. I have to I have to get this and have him on top of the frame because I framed up my autograph, my ticket, my wristband, the photo of Taker and I, the hook I was showing him that I've been wearing since college. So it's like that Undertaker has to stand, with the fist up and everything. He's got to, but he's velcroed up there so he doesn't fall over. So I can't get him down, but he is up there.
You always going the extra mile with the string and the Velcro.
Always.
This place is put together with clay and toothpicks. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I that was he's wearing the merch shirt from the very first Dead
Right.
Man show, which I went to, so I
Yeah.
feel like I had to get that one for sure. I don't know about you guys, but this one was a bit of a peg warmer in my area as well. Unfortunately, I know it was exciting for us to get this one, but I don't think little Jimmy was super excited to get 2023 Undertaker. Did you see a lot of these out there, Steven?
Hit or miss. I would either see none or like a crap ton of them.
Sure. I saw it
I
a few
love that.
times too, and that's where I would remember all these people online. Of course, people always complain online. That's where you go to complain. But I would see people going, "Oh, another Undertaker." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, he doesn't get nearly what like Hulk Hogan does. What do you mean another Undertaker?" And that's
Exactly.
where I've got to remember, like what you just said, Alex, is not everybody is us. So totally get it.
And I love figures like this when they're Undertakers in street clothes. It's so different, and I love it because it's just a moment in time. And I selfishly I hope that they do like a street clothes ministry elite.
Yes, that would
Like
be
when he's
crazy.
like Yeah, when he's like always in street clothes from like when he was with Big Show and the tail end of the Ministry in '99. I love that. I love that Jax did it. I hope Mattel does it. I love stuff when they do out of the box stuff for Taker like this.
Alex, did you mention? I don't think you did the watch. I remember when this figure was
Oh
coming.
yeah,
That's like you pointed out 3 or 4 times. Like there's an Undertaker figure out there with a
with
watch.
a wristwatch. Who would have ever thought? But yeah, that's a really nice little touch that they added on there, and they've added it to a few other figures since then. I think there's a Stone Cold that's coming out with one, and there's been a Kevin Nash with one. But yeah, going the extra mile. You gotta love that.
Yeah.
This was a basic top picks Undertaker. Honestly, going through the list, I wasn't even sure I knew this one ever came out. I don't think I've ever seen this one, but again, sort of a later 2000s Undertaker. Steven, do you have this one?
I do.
I'm sure he does.
What's
Yeah.
on the side? What's on his pants design?
It's like the almost like the ultimate one. It's like the red and white demon.
Looks like it.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
They
Yeah,
should
they
have done
had
this in the they should have done this in the champions one with the world heavyweight title.
Yeah, I would have liked that for sure. Um, so nothing crazy there. Is that a re-release technically or a repaint? Do you know?
I would think it's like a repaint. Repainted
Yeah,
probably an earlier series.
yeah. So the
yeah,
top picks are just out there to just kind of make sure they've got the big
Yeah.
guys out on the shelves. So for the little kids.
they're really hitting that 2010 button like hard, it seems. A lot of purple Undertaker this year and a lot of 2010 singlet Undertaker. I don't know why, but they
That's what
are,
Steven's been asking for.
right?
All right, so now maybe a controversial part of our show here, because again, this is one I'd never picked up, and I just was not a big fan of the way this one
What?
looked. Yeah, to be fair, I also have never seen this one on the shelves, so I've never even had to debate about it. But I'm talking about the Monday Night War series. This has the Undertaker from September of 1998. A very new, unique head scan on him with the hair coming over the side of his face. And Randy, I know you got a very personal memory towards this one.
Yeah, I felt the same way. We all were kind of talking in the chat when it was coming out. Like, man, I don't know about that face. Something about that Undertaker face is off, and I'm just not sure about it. But what put this over the top for me was I was at that Raw, September 28th, 1998. I was a senior in high school and in Detroit. Pay-per-view was the night before on Sunday, and Undertaker Kane both pinned under Stone Cold Steve Austin in unison.
Yep.
And so
Breakdown 98.
yeah,
Yep.
somebody was going to be awarded the championship in the ring to start the show. They announced that early and said, that's kicking off the show is going to be Mr. McMahon giving the belt to somebody. I'm thinking, I'm going to witness the Undertaker getting the world championship right in front of me. How great is this? And then, as we know, Stone Cold came down in that Zamboni, very classic, seminal moment in Raw and Attitude Era history, and nobody was awarded the belt that night. And so yeah, Zamboni Raw. I always tell people when it's on TV or when somebody mentions it, I feel like I'm under contract to mention the fact that I was there, and I was there. And there's actually my ticket. My Undertaker figure holds up the ticket from that night.
How cool.
And I remember Steven made fun of me. He's like, "This is embarrassing. Do something else with that figure." But there he is, holding it up high.
No way. I love that.
I still had the ticket in the program from that night. So yeah, he holds it up. And
It
that
looks
was
like he's one of the Raw girls from like 1993 Monday Night Raw, just walking
right.
around. I like it raw.
Yeah. And I believe I was in the crowd with a "I'd rather be in China" sign. That was my sign that night, was "I'd rather be in China."
That's what he should be holding up instead.
I should remake that sign for him. Yes.
Steven, what do you think about this face? Because that's what I couldn't get over. I see what they're going for here. I get the look they're going for. I love the hair, but
Yeah.
something about the forehead and the face, I don't know. It's not my favorite head scan.
I don't know. Sometimes it's hit or miss, especially with the true effects of what Mattel does. But I like what they did with the hair. Like this is '98 Undertaker. Close my eyes and picture him. I picture him with the hair down half the face. And this is something I wish they would have put like one of the extra heads with the ultimate,
Yeah, for sure.
something like that. But this is my Undertaker. When they announced this, I couldn't wait to find it. Late '98 Undertaker. It's hitting everything that I needed it to hit. I just maybe a little more bulkier body, but it would been it's I love it.
I don't know if I ever saw this one in stores, but I was so into this. You know, Steven was into it because that was his first Undertaker, and I was at this Raw. So like that, this is my first and only purchase so far from Paulmart.
Ooh,
I got
Oh,
this from Paulmart that
same.
Zack Ryder always
really?
talks about. Yeah, I paid extra. I mean, whatever it was, $40 to get it super super
Yeah,
super early because I just could not risk not finding this.
Yeah,
same. I never found it. I never found it in stores.
Really,
mm-mm.
No,
No,
I
that
saw I
Monday
I
Night
saw
War
all the
series.
other ones.
really.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been very elusive. Yeah, and I will see them. To be fair, I have not been going in Walmart as much as usual because there just hasn't been as much to look for, I feel like
Right.
this year.
Yeah.
But when I have gone, I do always check the toy aisle, and we'll see a few Monday Night Wars, but I had never have seen this particular Taker on the shelves at any of my Walmarts. Instead, I still see Bray Wyatt Superstars
Right.
figures
Oh
here
my God.
4 years later.
God.
This one absolutely one of my favorites. Something
Yes.
I don't think I even dreamed about it because I never even thought something like this could happen. But SummerSlam Elite Series representing SummerSlam 2015, the Under Frazier or the Undertaker meme face laughing at Brock Lesnar. How do you not display it just how Randy had it? Sitting up with that face. Why would you ever display it any other way? The home run knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
Um, Bravo.
Yes.
Like the amount of time that I looked at the still from this online to position his hands, like, okay, one hand is around his knee, the other one's kind of by his midsection. Like the amount of time that I wasted on this. And both heads, if you look at those heads on your picture, both heads are A plus plus plus
Yeah,
plus.
the other head's
But yeah,
great
Yeah.
you
too.
you you got to go with this one. You have to. I mean, that's the whole point of this. I'm just sad that we probably, I don't know what the plan was, but we'll probably never get that accompanying Brock Lesnar. I'm guessing that
True.
probably won't come. That would have been really cool. But this guy usually sits on top of my Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Donatello as Undertaker box because that's another box that I kept, and he sits right on the top, looking at the front of the detolf, just like this.
I
I
uh
love it.
I love it too. Mattel's all you were always talking about cost cutting with Mattel. They could have saved a few bucks by not having the hat with this Undertaker figure because if you're not going to give him the entrance coat, why are you going to give him the entrance hat here?
Right.
Just
True.
you just save some money by not reproducing that here. And again, no one's going to be displaying him making his entrance. You got to display him here with the meme face, the laughing face.
Right.
I hope we see more figures like this. I think Mattel has been branching out into some more comedic figures and more obscure things. Like they did the Rock one where the
Yeah.
Rock's kind of rolling his eyes in that promo, and they've done Hulk Hogan playing guitar. So I like where they're going with this, and maybe we get some more funny Undertaker figures.
There's still a chance for that Betsy Ross coat
Absolutely.
Undertaker,
I
right?
think now more than ever. That and
Right.
the snakeskin pants.
Oh
The
yeah.
snakeskin pants.
Oh, absolutely. The time is coming.
Pajama taker from the way out.
Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my God. I don't think
Can
we'll
you
ever get
imagine?
that one, but I do want it.
I do.
Let's talk about some of these Foco bobbleheads. We talked about Funkos. Let's talk about Focos. And these are pretty rare, but they're pretty unique and fun to look at. I think most of them are like out of some weird 200, 250, 270, a lot of them. We got a purple gloves. Again, Randy said a lot of purple glove Taker this year. This
Yeah.
one with the Phantom mask. Um, I don't collect these, although I do have one that we'll get to on here. But just looking at it, it's pretty neat looking, I guess.
Hmm.
I mean, they're kind of like the big shots, like great quality. I mean, only so much you can do with a bobblehead. Some of them light up, some of them have audio. So they do really cool stuff as far as you can with a bobblehead, but they are expensive. They're usually
That's the
not
thing.
cheap either. And if they seem to pump out, I forget if Taker had 3 or 4 this year alone. I mean, if they're $100 a piece right there, that's 300-400 bucks if you're a bobblehead person, Steven. Um, so you'll be paying for that. So I did not get this one, but he does look very cool.
Steven, are you completist on the bobbleheads?
I'm a completist on the Undertaker, so that's a
There you
yes.
go. Yeah.
Okay, all right. Um,
Although it pains me. It pains me with this.
I, I'm always a fan of any Paul Bearer merch coming out. So we also got a 2-pack of mini bobbleheads here. Um, Undertaker again in the purple gloves, disrobing or kind of like doing a little dance move here with his jacket, opening it up real fancy like. And Paul Bearer, don't love the head scan on that Paul Bearer bobblehead. I'm not sure that's actually Paul Bearer. That's more of a Gomez Adams or something going on there. But yeah, these are okay.
Yeah.
I feel like that move is either Taker, he grabs his, and again, I'm analyzing this too far, but he grabs his coat like that when he's coming up the stairs, or if you notice
Ah,
when he would come through the ropes and he would get
That's what I
through
thought.
and he'd kind of make sure that it wasn't caught on the ropes after he got through himself. And he would kind of like give it the old yank and kind of go around his legs like that. So he must be doing that either too. So just thinking about it too hard over a bobblehead. I know.
No, that's I'm thinking like specifically WrestleMania 12. I remember him doing that.
There you go.
With
that
him
makes a lot of sense.
grabbing the cloak and twirling it around.
Yep. After he gets in.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you guys are here for. I didn't pick
Oh,
up on that at all. And these are smaller, right, Steven? These are four
yes.
inches.
Yes, they're
So
smaller.
even tinier than your 7-incher,
And my 7-incher,
Randy.
yeah.
Oh my god.
His figure or his
Yeah, sure.
stuffy,
Family,
whatever.
family show.
And this is what I do have, courtesy of Steven's generosity, and I
Me
think
too.
Randy as well. This is a really cool light up ministry Undertaker that's on a stage. I guess what's sort of supposed to be like an entrance stage, but there's a lot of detail even on the stage. There's like little phrases written on there. And as you can see, it does actually light up.
This was my battery died, kind of like Steven's sweater. My battery died. And so and then I was checking it out this week and trying to figure it out how to replace the battery. And then Alex is like, let's have this show. And I'm like, oh my God, I got 24 hours to fix this. But clue, if anybody ever is fixing it, this compartment here was like plastered down with like hot glue. I could only get to like part of it. I don't know why FOCO does this. And then I could only open this battery compartment halfway. And so I replaced the battery. I could barely get to the battery, but it wouldn't open kind of all the way. I kind of had to like have it shimmied open with like
Uh-huh.
pliers and then kind of like squeeze the new battery in there. And it didn't light up. And I thought, oh my gosh, it's broken. No, I read the box. The box says replace both batteries. Both batteries? There's 2 in here. And Deanna and I, who must have 8 degrees in between us, hanging on the wall, we could not figure out how to open this without. I mean, surely we can manhandle it and break it, but that's not what you want to do. And we figured out there's 2 screws here on the underside. So there's 2 screws on the underside that you need to unscrew to be able to get to the second battery. So I had to cut out all the hot glue so I could
Wow.
remove this. Then we've used the Velcro. So now I can Velcro it down and be able to get to the underside to get to those 2 screws right there. So don't break your thing when you're changing your battery on your FOCO. There was also on the box, you might be glad to note, there was a battery ingestion hotline. So if you happen to ingest your batteries, you can call the battery ingestion hotline and they will help you.
I'm not sure if
Um,
I want to be talking to anybody on the phone in those moments. It's
That's
got
the
a battery
information.
stuck in my throat. But appreciate the pro tip on the light bulb or the battery changing on there. People are gonna need to know that useful information.
Right,
All
right.
234 people who have these. Or I mean, it's less than that because Steven bought 30 of them apparently
That's right.
oh my god.
to give them out as Christmas gifts. Um, yeah, I dig his beard. You know, like the 2
Yeah.
little tufts coming off of there. I like that they did that, and his little ponytail coming out of the bag. It's a great representation. This looks like something that could have come out in 1999, don't you think?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's a lot of, they hit that 2010 Taker a lot this year. They hit the purple tie Undertaker a lot. Don't see a lot of WrestleMania 15 Undertaker as this. Just doesn't, it's not a button that gets hit hard. So it's kind of cool to see that.
But it's like it's the era when the most people were watching wrestling. So it's kind of surprising that they haven't busted it out more.
Right. He sits with me by my workstation. So I see him every day.
And this one, I think, takes the cake. We've got Undertaker and Shawn Michaels from WrestleMania 25. Undertaker kind of rocking Shawn Michaels to sleep.
Oh my
I
gosh.
guess
Oh my
here.
gosh.
Mid choke slam. I mean, I love the effort that Foco puts into these and the creativity into these, even if the execution is not always perfect. There's another one. I guess it's coming out next year with Undertaker and Paul Bearer, where they're Paul Bearer's doing
Betrayal.
the betrayal to him, and Undertaker's in a bit of an awkward position there that does not come off great in bobblehead representation. And then there was a weird one with Undertaker and Mankind last year. But this one, honestly, I kind of love it.
Yeah, this is like, it looks like me trying to put my 1-year-old in the bathtub. I mean, that's what this is. Oh man.
I like
Steve,
bobbleheads. I like bobbleheads that are just a singular thing. Whenever you stick two or more people in with a bobblehead, it doesn't come off well.
right? Did you even, I mean, you keep all your stuff in the box anyway, so you never even got yours out probably.
Nope.
No need. No need. It's
No
fine.
need.
Ah,
Fine.
I think it's pretty cool. A pretty cool, unique piece. It's fun. I appreciate the effort into it.
I do like their logos on the ring there. That you see their logos are on the ring. It reminds me of
Yeah,
WrestleMania the arcade game, you know.
yeah, absolutely. I love the detail they put into it. This was pretty neat. Some Funko Bitty Pops. I mean, we're talking from 7-inch to 4-inch to maybe like 2 inches here. These mystery. Well, three of them are not mysteries, but you do get a fourth mystery pop on there. This was also in a Steven box that I received,
Me
and
too.
I've said on here I love any kind of mini Undertaker figure. I have a bunch of them. I don't know if there's a checklist for even all of them, but anytime I see one or can find one, I'll try to grab these. And I mean, it has an actual miniature Funko box on there, and then you can pull the mini figurine out of there. Um, I don't know why they make it, but again, I like to have it on display.
That's a big deal. I think kids like it a lot. Like my son who's 6, he loves the turtles they have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle version of this. And he gave me a Raphael. So Raphael pixelated. He looks like he's 8-bit, like from a Nintendo game. But he gave me the Raph because he knows Raph's my favorite turtle. So Raph is up there on my nightstand next to the Undertaker from my Steven box. They're upstairs. But yeah, kids love it, and he's got all the turtles. He wanted Shredder. You can't. They're this big, and they're in the Funko thing unless you take them out. But I mean, you can't fight with them. But
Can't do anything with it. No.
kids love them. I don't know. I can't explain it.
And I appreciate, I mean, the level of detail, Stephen, on here is really, really cool. We're talking, what WrestleMania is this?
28.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right.
So we're talking shave head Undertaker here
Yeah.
with the little cloak over his head that he's gonna get
Mhm.
stuck on his head as he's pulling it off. But yeah, lots of little. It's a Funko Pop shrunk down into really tiny size, and to have that level of detail on there, I think is pretty
Was it
neat.
was the mystery Stone Cold, I think? Wasn't it Stone Cold Steve Austin was the mystery guy, or was it different per box?
I think mine was Stone Cold.
Mine was Stone Cold.
Yep. I remember mine was being Stone Cold. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there it is.
Is that your hand?
It's not my hand. No.
Not mine
I'm
either.
just. I'm gonna skip before I say something inappropriate. Uh, And I had to throw this in there.
Yes.
The Geeky Tiki Undertaker. Am I the only one that got one of these?
Yes.
No,
No, I thought
Okay, Steven, you got one. Okay, okay.
come on.
I didn't know if this would count.
Of course
Um,
it does.
I have talked on the podcast about um, how disappointed I was in this. I don't know what I was expecting, but I think you can tell if you can see the picture versus my actual version. I mean, it is hand painted. It lots of imperfections and marks on there. It's rough looking, but yeah, you got to keep it at that point for how how ridiculous and silly it is. But I love the idea of it. Execution, I wish there'd been a little bit more quality control on there.
Yeah,
Steven, did
didn't
you
you say wasn't one of his eyes painted like he had one eye different than the other? He kind of looked like
yeah,
early Kane. Yeah.
yeah. So he's got
Yeah,
like
they're awesome.
one of them doesn't have a pupil in there. I don't know.
Wow.
And then yeah, his gloves are messed up. Yeah, it's rough looking.
Oh my God.
So
You got a
Steven,
bad one.
yeah, I mean yours could be pristine in the box.
Well, I got two, one to keep in the box and one to open.
One to
Oh,
drink
okay.
out of. Cheers.
I wouldn't go that far.
How did yours look?
Not bad.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I didn't see anything wrong with it.
Yeah, well, I got a misprint. I got a bummer. That's all right.
Yeah. Uh,
That completes the Undertaker section on here, but I did want to mention two other figures that I think are extremely Undertaker adjacent here. This one especially, it is the Executioner, Terry Gordy, to a 2-in-1 figure, but I mean, I had to buy it because it is the Executioner, and his one and only WWF pay-per-view appearance was against the Undertaker. I mean, this was a character that was made to face the Undertaker and absolutely bombed. But he did get one pay per view match with The Undertaker. And I think perhaps even more famously than his match is his box set, the Buried Alive box set that Jax
Right.
made with Undertaker, Mankind, Paul Bearer, and that one and only Executioner figure. That was the one and only until Mattel put this out. This was something I never expected, but absolutely had to pick it up. Either of you guys pick this guy up?
yes,
Oh, you did. All right, good.
I did
did.
not pick him up, but I knew you would because you still have your childhood box, right?
I
In
do,
the
of
Jax.
course.
Yeah.
And that
Uh,
ex
Tell Mr. Boat to make a re-release of the Buried Alive box set with this guy.
oh my God, that would be a dream come true. That would be
Yes.
so cool. Um, and I like that this is a much more faithful representation than the Jax version. So the Jax version is cool for what it is, but this one, you know, really gets the cloak right and accurate. And yeah, I'm surprised it came with like that axe. That's kind of a violent weapon to come with a modern day
Sure.
Mattel figure. But a very cool way to sneak this in along with an actual Terry Gordy figure for a guy that had, I think, maybe four televised matches in the WWF total. So that's got to be at the near the bottom of uh, it, whatever characters who had the least amount of matches to actually get an
Sure.
action figure.
Yeah, I mean, well, just now seeing it now and hearing you guys play it up now, it makes me. I was pretty strong on like, no, I don't need Undertaker opponents. We're not getting into that, especially one-off opponents. But now I'm kind of like, man, he looks really cool. Maybe I need one of
Maybe
those.
you do.
Maybe I do.
Well, I had to get this one as well, and actually just came in from the ringside Black Friday sale. So I thought I'd open it up here. We're talking Kane from the Inferno match. So again, I think this one it's got to go in any sort of Undertaker collection. I think this deserves a spot on your Detolf, Randy, because it's such a unique moment and such a cool figure. Kane with the flames on his hand. Again, Mattel getting so creative, knocking stuff out of the park here with this defining moments Kane figure. And it did come with the ring post flames as well in a separate box. So
Wow.
I don't know what I'll do with those, but again, really neat accessory that you could put on a Mattel ring.
Sure.
Steven, did you get one of these?
I did.
There you go.
And in the collection, I have it in my closet there, but I couldn't pass it up.
Now I'm gonna open
I
it up here.
wonder, I wonder if if I get some of those flames for the rings, I should maybe the flames that would look good on my ring, my Undertaker ring that I have in here.
Ooh,
With the purple ropes, you know?
you could put one of him lifting, uh doing the thing where his lights came up and the pyro busted up in
Oh
front of
my
Right.
his
God.
face.
That's what I'm thinking of. Yeah, right. Oh, wow.
Uh, I mean,
Kane with the
again,
Cheeto on his arm. Looks like a Cheeto.
that's kind of like a
Looks like
cheat.
a Cheeto.
Oh, they've gotten so bad with these
Oh, I have to use nail
ties
clippers
on
to
there.
keep those off. Yeah,
But oh, there we go. So there's the flame, Human Torch, giving a thumbs up right there.
that's pretty
Uh,
cool.
it is pretty cool, man. This will definitely look great on the shelf with the Undertaker's opponents. This is gonna be it got to be at the front of the
Oh
display
yeah.
for that era. Um, with the fire extinguisher, of course.
Nice.
Um, such a fun, unique release for that defining moment series. And I mean a great Kane figure, even without that. Um, love the love the look on that. That's what I think of when I think of Kane. I think a classic 1998 Kane. I don't know about you guys.
One arm,
Definitely.
one arm naked, one arm
Yeah,
closed. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Definitely.
Such a unique match and unique moment in not just WWF history, but Undertaker history as well. So had to add that one to the shelf.
I love in that match where he obviously puts some, I don't know what if it's Vaseline or flame retardant stuff on that sleeve, and then he catches it on fire. And then that poor guy, I would do the same thing where he's thinking, okay, my arm is on fire. This stuff is not, this jelly is not going to last forever. I need to get to the back and get hosed down. But I need to also but you could see like, okay, stop, play to the crowd. Okay, arms on fire, keep moving, keep it moving, which I certainly would be doing that too, getting to the back as soon as possible.
Right. I mean, we talked about this on Talking Taker. I mean, he's not like a professional stuntman. I mean,
Uh-uh.
this is he's a professional wrestler, and he never expected to be like asked to do something like that. And Taker too, to to have that match in just the entire match inside the
Right.
flames as they're shooting up. I mean, you've taken it to another level, and for these guys to go out there and put on that sort of performance, just it's not like they rehearsed it either. They're out on the road at Monday Night Raw doing house shows and stuff. They probably ran through it like a couple hours before the show started. So they haven't
Right.
had a ton of time to rehearse this. It's pretty insane.
You want me to do what for no extra money? Okay. I'll be there.
Well,
That's
that concludes my presentation for this evening. What was you guys' favorite release of 2024 for the Undertaker collection?
the Target Ultimate.
Target Ultimate is your number one?
Yeah, I'd probably say, yeah, I was gonna say my Shakespeare Undertaker Legends Ultimate.
Yep.
I mean, that's pretty awesome for all the different things that you could do with it. You could have him standing and with his hat and his cloak, like I do with so many of mine back here. You can have him doing this. You can have him with the title, wearing the title. I mean, like you said, that's everything that you want in an ultimate, where you could, in theory, if you're Zack Ryder, you could buy four of them and it'd be four different figures if you wanted to do different stuff with it. So I think this one's probably the best. There's certainly some awesome moments with the Zamboni Raw or the meme SummerSlam guy. Couple of cool re-releases if you didn't get a swing at it the first time, but as far as originality goes, this is pretty good.
Yeah, I think I'm actually going to go with that SummerSlam 2015 release. Just something that just made me laugh the first time I saw them even show a render for it, and something I, like I said, never even expected them to release, and to see it come out, and the execution on it was perfect. And that's what I really want out of my collection at this point. Like, I feel like I've gotten
Right.
enough to represent really every signature look and era of Undertaker. I don't necessarily need, another iteration. Give me something unique. Give me something that's never been done before. Give me a very specific moment and an iconic one, a hilarious one. Give me more stuff like that. And that's really going to get me to spend my money at this point. So I love the execution on that.
Right, it's very true. I mean, that's when I mentioned picking Ultimate Undertaker there, just because he's my Shakespeare pose Undertaker with the tongue hanging out. I mean, that's something different because I have so many coded Undertakers in here. So yeah, to your point, that's true. Let's get niche on some of these. Let's get that Betsy Ross Undertaker and PJ Undertaker and Snakeskin Pants Undertaker. Well, we're definitely in for all that.
Well, that's
WrestleMania 40 sweatpants and sweatshirt Undertaker.
Yeah, running back to the back.
you stole the words out of my mouth because that was my final question is what are your hopes to see in 2025? I
That
think
one.
yeah, I think the only thing that's been announced is another um greatest hits. I think there's supposed to be another one of those on the table, but they haven't announced exactly what the look is going to be, if I'm
Yeah,
not mistaken.
there's three things so far. Two of them are Focos, so we
Okay.
Foco loves some Undertaker. That betrayal one that you were talking about that looks interesting. And then they are going to have that the one that looks like it's off of the WWF magazine from May of 91.
Yeah,
The
Yes.
so he's going to be this guy.
that looks
The
pretty cool.
grave tasks ahead, and it's going to have like the tombstones and stuff, and then it's going to have this Undertaker in bobblehead form. So that's coming.
Yeah, I like
So
that.
those are the two Focos, and then you're right. That greatest hits 7. I have it bookmarked, Ringside Collectibles. So every morning when I wake up and I go around the horn on eBay, Mercari, I go around the horn on my alerts, my email, Facebook, Twitter, and then my last thing I'll do is I'll go to Safari and I'll hit up Ringside to see have they uploaded a picture yet? Do we know what this is yet? Because the picture they use is just a generic singlet Undertaker 20. That could be 2008 to 2013. Who knows? 2012 doesn't look like it's anything special. But to Steven's point from earlier, when I when I bought this Ultimate a second time, when they took Bray Wyatt out, they had the picture of Attitude Era Undertaker. So they used a picture that they didn't end up actually, it wasn't representative of the figure. So there's still hope that this might be not a plain Undertaker from 2010. Maybe it's something different. So I must hit up that page probably every day. Like, did they upload a picture now? How about now? How about now? How about now? And just
You
wanting to text you guys, like, I found it, I figured it out, but I haven't figured it out yet. So
you have a fascinating brain, Randy. I just want to live
You
inside
do.
of it for
I have
just a
no
day.
middle gear. When I'm into something, I have no middle
I
gear
know.
at all.
No. That's why we love you.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I hey, I would love a battle pack. Just make it a basics battle pack of Rock and Undertaker from WrestleMania 40. Final
Oh
boss
my
Rock.
God.
Would buy that.
Yeah, and
I would,
Undertaker and his
yeah,
sweats. Give me that.
yeah. Final Boss Rock, one of my favorite iterations of the Rock. I love
Oh,
it.
absolutely. I think
Love
I've
it.
got
So
to
I
get
would,
one for my collection. I think it's for my Undertaker opponents collection. It's
And
such an
I've got
iconic
to
moment.
see, we've talked about it. I've got to see American Badass or Motorcycle Undertaker, Biker Taker Ultimate. Like, give us,
yeah.
I don't even care at this point what year that is. It could be Big Evil, it could be Kid Rock Undertaker from 2000. I mean, I don't care. It doesn't
Oh,
matter.
it's gotta be Judgment Day 2000.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
Works for
The,
me,
the return of him, that's gotta be it. If they do it, they gotta do that one.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Um, I I am begging for a knuckle cruncher. Get please. Why have
Yes.
we not gotten an Undertaker knuckle cruncher? I said I love the mini figures, and then they've
Mhm.
got this other figures called Gojitsu, I think is what they're called. Some other mini figures that they've got in Walmart, and I don't even know
Yep.
if they've done any legends with those. It may just be modern guys so far, but hey, it's a new line. Give me an Undertaker in it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if I'm in Walmart, I usually pick one of those up and I look at the back, like, do they have an Undertaker one of these yet? No,
Mhm.
it's like Dom and like Cena and like Ray. And like, okay, nope. But I
Not
do
yet.
check.
Yeah. I, I
I
could see them doing him.
And then my I was just trying to come up with just some wild thoughts of stuff we haven't had yet. Um, how about a new retro 4-pack? They've been doing these They've brought back the retros and been doing them as 4 packs on Mattel Creations. How about a Ministry of Darkness retro 4 pack? Because they've kind of gone
Love
into
it.
the Attitude Era there. So give us a Ministry Taker, a Viscera retro, and maybe a Acolytes retros for a Ministry
Sure.
4 pack. Who says no to that?
Absolutely. I mean, even I mean, they're all Undertaker's friends. I mean, you could even do a Midian. I mean, I'm sure those guys would all be down.
We need a Midian Elite in
Right.
2025. My
We need a
collection
Midian.
is begging for it. Or one
That's
of
what
these
I want.
bootleg companies, give me a Midian retro or something. I have no Midian figure. Original Midian, not naked Midian. I don't
No,
need
no.
naked Midian. Nobody needs that.
Well, that could be the alternative.
Yeah, they got to do repaints.
Right,
Oh,
right.
Um, I need a Savio Vega Elite. How has he not had an Elite? I need him
Right.
for
Savio Vega.
Survivor Series 95 for his tag team
True.
with Taker.
Right. He had that. He had the feud with Austin for a while in '96 when he was the ringmaster.
Dude, he was huge.
Then he's new.
Absolutely.
Are people knocking down the door for Savio Vega Elite?
The door, I'm knocking, baby.
Hey, somewhere right now, people are doing a Savio podcast right now.
God help us.
Hey, they've done a lot of new generation stuff. And I mean, I think there's money to be made with Savio Vega. He was there he was there under the Attitude. He was there for 4 or 5 years. Pretty memorable character.
Right. I don't
If
know
you
that
could do an Executioner, you can give me a Savio Vega.
I don't know that kids would buy it, but it's like the collectors or
The
people that
Legends
are
line.
nostalgia people like us would certainly, yeah.
Yeah.
I love the idea of the Ministry 4 pack
Yeah.
retros.
Yeah. I'm pretty excited for that in my fantasy world.
Funeral parlor playset, as we always talk about. Funeral parlor playset. Mattel
Ooh,
Creations,
that'll never happen, but I love that idea.
Yeah,
right?
that's a dream.
Right.
That's the biggest dream.
How about this? Here's a pipe dream for you. There's all these other retro companies out there, Zombie Sailor and Hastel Toys, not officially affiliated with WWE.
Right.
What if Mark Calloway signed a deal with one of these other companies to make a Texas Red figure or a Master of Pain figure, something like that. Early days, something that WWE doesn't own. Uh, that's just a
I
fantasy
would
that I would have.
He never will, but
No,
right.
he won't.
He's too
he never
loyal
will.
to that, but I would
Yeah,
be down. I would probably buy the hell out of that. Yeah.
Sure.
yeah. I would say Hassel Toys. He makes the best ones I've seen.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't have any of his. I do have one zombie of Todd Pettengill. That's the only one I've gotten of
Wow.
his. And he's supposed to be making a Mr. Hughes. He's been showing it for years.
Wow.
That comes with the urn from his feud with Undertaker. So I will absolutely buy that when he comes out with that. But I think Hastel is doing he's doing a Harvey Whippleman eventually, which I think I'll
Nice.
probably get since he had a couple years worth of feuds with Undertaker with Kamala and Giant Gonzalez.
Right.
So yeah,
Sean Mooney.
Sean Mooney. I might have to get a Sean Mooney, a friend of the podcast. Um, well, gentlemen, this has been a blast. Any other closing remarks?
Y'all ready for the Rumble?
Yeah, we can close with that. We are part of the Royal Rumble 2025 crew, along with Travis and Travis's buddy and Tommy. We got a big crew coming along to Indianapolis. Tickets have been bought. The funeral parlor Airbnb has been
Yes.
purchased. We're just finalizing travel dates or travel plans, plane tickets, car plans at this point, but excited to finally get this crew together in person. It's been years in the making.
Yeah,
Bow Street Crew.
I've been saving that
Pod Street crew.
I forget, I don't even know what its formal title is, but that bleach tips hard nips Undertaker that Steven sent me years ago. I'm like, one time there's going to be
Oh
a
my
time
God.
I'm with Alex and Steven at the same time, and I'm going to have them. Somebody's going to sign the chest and somebody's going to sign his back. And I'm excited. Somebody's going to sign my bleach tips and hard nips Undertaker. I can't wait.
I'll take one nip, you take the other, Steven.
It's gonna be awesome. I'm looking forward. Thank you guys for indulging me with the house. I saw that Airbnb that is all horror themed. I can't wait.
It's perfect.
Um, I know that the Jason Voorhees room sleeps like four to the room because they're all bunk beds. So I'm not sure how that's gonna go, but we're gonna find out. It should be a good time. I still have to kind of look into. I know we usually look into like what vintage toy shops are around,
We
what
gotta have a
record
toy hunt.
shops are around.
Yeah,
Got to.
Oh,
I
this
know
have
crew.
to.
you found a video store, didn't you? I can't remember. I think you
Yeah,
did.
there is a video shop, so that's been on the
Yeah.
list the past
Oh
few
my
years.
God, blast from my past. Video
Exactly.
shop?
Yeah, and I'm sure hopefully there'll be a superstore we can go into
Yep.
and just spend too much money in as well. But
Maybe a One Dead Man. I gotta see Steven experience the One Dead Man show, and
right.
then I gotta see Steven at the merch stand afterwards. I want to see that. That's a bigger show.
Well, it's hopefully it's mostly apparel because I don't collect apparel that much.
That's
So
true. Yeah,
I
Yeah,
it's a
can
lot of
look
shit.
out.
that's pretty much all it was at the one we went to, besides the
Right.
program. And
I
then
mean,
some
I get a shirt. You have to get a shirt to commemorate it.
true, true. Well, that's something very exciting to look forward to in 2025. There may not be a ton of figures to look forward to, but we've
Right.
got the Rumble, fellas. So close it out. Let us know where people can find you online. Steven, I know the Collecting Dead Man podcast is on hiatus at the moment, but there's some plenty of content in the archives, including your journey through your Undertaker collecting, as well as a
Yes.
bunch of fun watch alongs. Couple with me, but way more with your partner in crime there, Randy, going through the Undertaker's
Partner in
gimmick
crime.
matches and title wins, and that's evergreen content. People can go listen to that anytime. Where can people find all
True.
that?
And 2025 may be just the return of the podcast. We will see.
Ooh, there's a tease for
That
you.
would be
But
that would be
could be that.
amazing.
I could pull an Eric Bischoff and be back and better than ever.
That would
So
be awesome.
um Collect Up Dead on Twitter, Collecting Dead Man on Instagram, Collecting Dead Man on YouTube. Search me. I'm everywhere, basically. Don't search my real government name. Just search the podcast name.
Yeah.
You know, I went through one time I was just clicking and going down a rabbit hole and I ended up on in YouTube and I was on Collecting Dead Man's, the YouTube and I had never paid attention to like the views before. Like it's just not something I look at.
Yeah.
Wow, people were watching. Like there were
Oh,
some
really? Oh,
people.
great.
I just assumed it was like what, me, you, Alex. There's three. There you go. And people were watching. I mean, there was some that had higher numbers than others, but like people were watching, and I was like, wow, this has views. Like who is watching this? This is amazing.
It's
And
my
I
amazing voice.
right.
Okay.
And well, and I look back and I some of your graphics for like, depending what match we were covering, you'd throw a graphic together with like a hearse.
Yeah.
Like, man, I don't even remember any of this. This is amazing. We got to get the band back together, even if it's only once a month or once every 2 months. I would love to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I should.
So even Randy can go back and enjoy it after it's been recorded. I think all of
Right.
And
you
when he was a
folks out
part
there,
of it, he can go
right?
back and enjoy it.
So all you folks out there listening should do the same. Randy, where can people connect with you?
Still on Twitter, at Pokey's Little Dog. Again, if I knew it was going to go this long, I probably would have picked a better name, but here we are at Pokey's Little Dog. And I need to get back on I actually stopped doing my horror tweet every Friday, what horror movies
Oh,
I watch.
yeah.
Treadmill. I stopped doing it because I started watching Twin Peaks from start to finish. So I had no movies to report because Twin Peaks took me like 6 or 8 weeks to get through. And I got through Twin Peaks. It was worth it. Twin Peaks is awesome, but I'm back on my movies now, so I should probably tweet about it because it doesn't count unless you tell social media what you watched.
No, that's the
But
whole
also,
point.
it's nice to, if you search the hashtag, it's nice for me to go back. Like, when did I watch that movie? Oh,
Mm,
2019. Cool. It's nice for me to be able to go back and catalog it that way too. So I need to
exactly.
get back on it. Yeah.
All right. And of course, you guys can follow us at Talking Taker on all the different social medias and subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to our podcast, leave a comment, like, and subscribe, do all that good stuff. We'll be back with another regular edition, classic edition of Talking Taker with Travis in the month of January. So look for that on January 1st. And I don't think we've locked in exactly what we're going to be doing, but I can guarantee you it'll be a good time with me and Travis as
Oh,
usual.
I was
Uh,
hoping for spoilers. What was
I
going to
don't
be on
have one
January?
yet. I don't have one.
Suburban Commando.
Suburban Commando's still on
Suburban
the docket.
Commando.
It will happen. It may be the January, maybe the February.
Hey, I still
Something
want
good
to
at
be
the
a
end of.
part of the Poltergeist episode
We
when you
gotta
guys
do.
do
We
that
gotta
one.
lock that in at some point too. I know that is on my spreadsheet of to do list. So maybe early part of 2025 we'll get to that. And then if you want to go back and check out what we talked about the year of Taker collecting in 2023, you can find that one in the archives as well. But until then, I hope you get all the Undertaker figures and toys and bobbleheads and big shots that you want under your Christmas tree this year. Everybody out there in the Pod Street crew, I hope after Santa Claus gets his tattoo on his butt from the Undertaker, like that classic WWE Shop Zone image, that he comes down the chimney and leaves you all the dead man presents that you could ever dream of. And until then, as we always say,
Take her easy.
Take it easy.
all right.